Plan Marcus, Tip,
Sean,
Yellow, RD.
Hello.
What's up, everybody?
hey guys,
So, surprise
got
for
some
everyone.
meme heavyweights today.
Yeah, yep. We got memers that make me and Plan Marcus look like the DJ baby that he really is.
Yep.
So we got Tip in the building. This is Bitcoiner's Guide for those of you who are new. Tip, if you want to give like a little introduction to yourself. Obviously we have Yellow and RD in here, but we love Tip's videos. Her memes are insane. They're the best, and we wanted to get her on because we're secretly some fanboys of hers, even though she doesn't know it.
No pressure, but yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited and very nervous as well, but you know, like you've seen some of my videos on Twitter and stuff, but you know, before making it into the meme space and now being interviewed by some of the most well-regarded meme lords in the universe, I was actually working for the dark forces of fiat as an investor beforehand, and now I have left and have since joined this awesome meme space and creating awesome Bitcoin videos. And I'm so bad at introducing myself. I'm kind of just like rambling, but yeah, that's me.
But that's really good. So you actually have a financial background then. So that's what kind of made you ready for Bitcoin.
Definitely, like it was. I was in the most fiat of the most fiat world. Before this, I was in venture capital, and like it was awesome before I learned about Bitcoin, and then I learned about Bitcoin, and it kind of like popped my reality. And I guess like you know, like you have that one moment where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like I remember my world shattering moment was when I realized like fiat money was different for different people depending how close you are to like the point of creation, and that completely like just blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck is, like, I don't understand money, like, and I've been working in finance and like public and private equity, like, and it was insane. It was just one of those moments where I'm just like, I can't look back, I can't do this anymore. So left and yeah, now creating videos.
Well, good.
You also
go ahead.
Go ahead. I have a. Did you also have like the educational like bug in you, like because your memes, your videos, your content is very educational. Like, was that something that you always liked, or did that come from just want to spread the message?
Like, did you ask if I had an educational background?
Yeah.
I don't have like a formal background in teaching or anything, but I did create a TV show teaching English to Thai people, which is where I'm originally from, Thailand. Okay. So it was kind of like all these different kind of I guess experiences that I gathered over time, and it just kind of culminated to what is the most important thing I can be doing with my life right now. And it's like education about Bitcoin is the most important thing, and the most effective way is to compete with all the content that's online right now that's very engaging but not really saying anything, and the message isn't really there, but like competing with that but pushing out a better message to the world, like Bitcoin education, why Bitcoin matters, and focusing all that like artistic and experience to just like one direction, which is all Bitcoin. But yeah, that answers your question.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, most VCs, when they learn about Bitcoin, they hate it because it kind of makes them useless. So it's pretty cool to see someone that comes from that world, and it takes humility, right? It takes humility to understand Bitcoin and to not get the Bitcoin derangement syndrome. So that's pretty powerful.
I mean, like the VC that I was working for, like we were focused on so many different things, like investing in like med tech companies, energy and all that stuff. It was all very interesting stuff. But then when crypto, I guess, came about, it was like, oh, let's focus on Web3. And like, then I knew that there wasn't something right. And my partner, James, who's been a Bitcoiner for so long, and he's been slowly orange pilling me over the past 10 years. And I just hadn't really been listening until I discovered my own rabbit hole. And then it was kind of like, well, what is Web3? What is Bitcoin? And then I realized how much of it was just like that space was how much of the Web3 is just so bullshit. And the fact that some of the people in my industry couldn't see it because they were beneficiaries of the traditional financial system. It was just so frustrating for me. And I just didn't want to spend any time convincing them. I just if you don't get it, I just want to focus on the people who do understand it and just dream and build on the things that is already happening, as opposed to being stuck in the old world of like reinforcing that staking society, whatever it is. It's just, yeah.
Proof of stake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long has this journey been? Or is it like, you mentioned 10 years? Has it been 10 years already?
It's been 10 years for him. It hasn't been 10 years for me. It's been, I think I literally quit my job like this time last year, and I got orange pilled kind of in 2020. And during 2020 and beginning of 2021, I tried to, pivot my career into creating a Bitcoin fund and investing in Bitcoin companies. But unfortunately, the VC I was working for had a mandate to just invest in kind of people within this region. And I was like, but Bitcoin's all over the world. It doesn't make sense for me to just focus on New Zealanders. Like, I want to focus on like the whole of the world and understand kind of this bigger fundamental shift that's happening in society, and not just be so focused and limited on someone else's mandate. So for me, it was just like, it was a tough call because like, honestly, it was such an easy lifestyle. Like, it was so easy to be it's not so easy, but it's kind of like, it was a very cruisy life to kind of be an investor. Especially at my age as well. It's kind of like, well, why would I give that up? But it was just like, Bitcoin's just so much more important. Like, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And it's just, yeah, I felt like I was on a rocket ship with Bitcoin, whereas in the traditional financial system, it was just like, playing music on Titanic. It just felt like it was heading the wrong direction for me.
Yeah, what is it about Bitcoin that, I mean, from any background that you come from, right? Like, I come from
It's a virus.
Yeah, well, it is. It's like a virus. Why does
It's a meme.
what does it do that just makes you start thinking about it nonstop? Like, what is that about Bitcoin that does that?
It depends. Like, I think you see, like, everyone has their own rabbit hole. And I guess the tip of the week for Bitcoin for newbies is that, like, if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, just forget about Bitcoin and really spend time to reflect on yourself and understand what's the most important thing for you. And then you just this is a practical tip. Okay. So just sit down, think about what's important for you, write down the keywords and concepts, and literally just Google a bunch of those keywords with the word Bitcoin, or this isn't a shill, but Bitcoin magazine, because it's a good filter. And someone would have written something about Bitcoin and that concept. And that's the beginning of your rabbit hole. Like, just don't try to ask people like, how do I start? Just look internally. And for me personally, it was like, it's always been developing countries because I come from Thailand, and I moved to New Zealand to get a better education. But even just that move, it's like, why did I have to do that? And then reflecting on that, I realized, well, I was optimizing to get close to the money printer without even knowing it myself. I was trying to get closer to this Western world of dollars and English, and just to increase my optionality, because I would have been stuck if I was just living in a developing country. And so when I understood what the US dollar did to the entire world, how developing countries are indebted to the US dollar, and it's very much like a loan shark situation where every time they change the interest rates or change their monetary policy, it impacts everyone in the world. I just thought how unfair that was. And I was now directly being a part of the fiat system that helps perpetuate that gap between poor developing countries and rich developed worlds, or poor individuals and rich individuals, and poor corporates and rich corporates. It's all happening at all these different levels. And just understanding that and how it starts with money, it was just like, whoa, like mind blowing. Like, and from then it was just, I can't sit here and just be a part of this like gap, like, and help participating in that gap. I want to be a part of a whole new system, and that's Bitcoin. That's me personally. Everyone else has their own kind of journey.
While you're speaking, I have to say I'm making a Molotov cocktail bomb for some reason. I don't know why. No, really, I love your passion. What I mean.
Thanks. I get too passionate and I get told off sometimes for having too much.
No,
like,
bring
people
Oh,
feel like
not
I'm
at all,
shouting
not
at
at
you.
all. Not here.
more because it's the bear market,
It's,
and like I think it's your first bear market, right?
It actually is. I was in the so funny, like the previous bear market, my partner quit his job to pursue Bitcoin, and this bear market, I quit my job to pursue Bitcoin, but we didn't mean to quit it during the bear market. So, you know, I quit when it was 60K and now it's 20K. I'm like, yes, no money to buy
Oops,
Bitcoin.
Hashtag
100K was guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
super
think-
relatable. I quit my job last year as well, and I just moved down to the Caribbean, and it was kind of high because I came from a developed country as well. I came to the Caribbean, moved to the Netherlands, you know, to pursue a university degree and start working there and all that stuff. So that's super relatable.
Yeah.
One thing I
And what was
also
your
noticed
background?
is that my background was like first it was engineering, and then I moved into advertising, but always like information science and research basically. Yeah, so I'm a numbers guy, but I was happy to quit that. But one other thing that I really love about your memes, at least what I think I'm seeing, is that there's this creative freedom that gets unlocked there, right? So you can, like, through the memes, you can just like take on any character you want. Because I was going to ask you, like, what did your previous whether it's bosses or partners, what would they think when you started memeing? Did you show them the memes you're making, or is that something that fuck you money now, right now I have like complete creative freedom to do what I want and I don't care what anybody thinks anymore? Because that's something I definitely felt. What I love to do with Plant Markets, it's like gives me this creative freedom to just do whatever you want. Yeah,
Totally. And I think being like a NIM gives you even more creative freedom. So I was just thinking like maybe I should just not tell anyone, start a NIM account and just go completely insane so that there's no filter. But it's still a little bit hard when you like, you know, show your face and then like your mom calls you and is like, what are you talking about? I don't know. But yeah, I guess like, yeah.
We're talking about
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Luckily, my mom's not on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that.
Smart.
But it is interesting, like what you're talking about before, right? How the dollar kind of rules everything, and you have that Cantillon effect, right? And it's just crazy to me. Like tomorrow is the FOMC meeting where they're going to decide, you know, okay, what do we do? Do we raise rates or lower rates and all that other stuff? Which obviously it looks like they're going to keep raising rates, but it's just crazy how the whole world listens into one guy and the decision of that one committee, and that's what everything is based off of. Like, how can the whole world have one person or one committee that's deciding all of the price signals for the whole world? It just blows my mind that we live in a society like this, and most people don't even know that we live like this. Like, that's how everything is controlled, is just by one entity, you know?
It's so archaic, and it's just like, and like, okay, sure, information comes out and everyone reacts to it, but some people can react to it faster than others, depending, you know, how powerful they are as well. So that's the other thing, is like, it's not like a information symmetry and everything symmetry. It's like, well, if you're further away, then you're more disadvantaged. And that's literally like was what my partner's job was. He was a trader and on a trading floor, and he was just like sitting there waiting for instructions, and then you get to make decisions before everyone else, and you get to move billions of dollars before everyone else. And yeah, it's like a casino. It like literally is a casino.
Yeah, like there were so a few years ago, so the NBA, there's an NBA draft every year, right? Where there's 30 teams in the NBA, and they get 2 picks, so there'll be 60 picks. Well, there was one year where the NBA commissioner, he would step up to the podium, and right before he'd say like, the Golden State Warriors draft so-and-so. Before he would say it, someone else would shout it from the crowd, because because they had the tips. They knew who was coming in. They knew who was getting drafted from every single team, and it's getting tweeted. And then he would shout it out every single pick. And so it's like, if it can happen when like there's no money being made for this random guy in the NBA draft, like how much do people know? Like if we're talking about the Federal Reserve going out, all that stuff has to be leaked to somebody, and people are trading off of that, and they know that the Fed is going to raise 25 or 50 or 75 basis points. They know before that's going to happen. And those people, like what you're saying, those people are going to be able to take advantage of it, and they can make money off of that. They can make millions or billions of dollars off of that quote unquote insider information, but no one will ever get arrested for that. And so I think that's what's cool about Bitcoin, is it just has this monetary policy that there's no insiders. Everyone knows every 10 minutes another block's going to drop. I think that's what's super cool.
Sean, did you use basketball again as like an allegory for Bitcoin?
You want me to keep using more? I mean, everything
is everything basketball.
Everything is basketball, first of all. That's what by the end of this show, whenever we finish in a few years from now, I just want everyone to know that everything's basketball. So
I guess Tip has to make like an AI version of Jordan, like speaking about Bitcoin, and you like, it's gonna be the best thing for you, I think.
So good. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Nice.
So in that subject, I have a question. Like, how did you start it with the AI stuff? Like, they're getting crazier and crazier. Like, the amount of stuff you can do. I didn't know the duck. What's the site? Duck.
Uberduck.ai.
Yeah. I haven't used that, but I did played around with like AI stuff, but not that good. Now I guess in that platform, like you can synchronize it with songs too, and like they basically the AI sings. It's amazing. I don't know. What's your view on AI and content and art? Like, I guess you love it because you use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it's one of those things where artists are like, oh, AI is taking over our role and stuff. But it's like, no, it's actually unlocking our ability to do more with our brains and kind of pull together all these things that we have in our brains that we don't have to actually go out and, coordinate. So if I wanted a guy to sing on my song, I had to like go out and find that person, like, and work with them and stuff. And that's fine too. But for me, like, I like doing a lot of stuff by myself as well, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So it's kind of like, if anyone works with me, I'm a bit of a control freak. So just to like spare that pain, it's like, I'd rather do it myself. So I think that it's awesome. Like, you can do all these things now that like you didn't have the skills or the ability to do before. And it just becomes a lot more layered. And when you have an idea in your head, what you really want to do is just to be as faithful to that idea as possible when you're creating it, so that everyone can see what that idea was originally. And I think AI and all these other tools helps you stay faithful to that idea so that you can create something awesome for the world.
Do you ever get stuck making a video? Like, sometimes I'll be making a video and then there's just something that stops. Like, I just can't figure out how to keep it going. Do you ever get stuck doing that?
Absolutely, 100%. That's why it takes like so long to make like my videos used to take so short. Like I would just like pump them out there, and that was actually me being high time preference, trying to optimize for the algorithm and just like get engagement and pump videos. But then actually after making Bitcoin videos and seeing the ones I try to do better at get more appreciation, I lowered my time preference and I'm putting out less videos, but each video is something that I'm trying to break new ground with and try to push myself. So it's kind of like you have to give yourself that time, because like creativity is a slow process. Creating original content is a slow process. And so if you get stuck, you have to just walk away from it for a couple of hours, days, whatever, and then try to rethink from it differently. Like with the most recent video that I did, the self-hosted take your Bitcoin out of exchange video, like the original thought for that was I wanted to create like a funny, risque video about taking your coins of exchanges. But then if it was just that, it felt a little bit flat. And that's why I was like, I had the awesome idea of like, why not leverage that risqueness and turn it into a scam and then change it to be like the cool rap at the end. And it's just like, that idea wouldn't have happened if I forced myself to push out a video once a week, or like, you know, force myself to just like create something. And so giving myself time actually gave a better result, and it will last for longer. It'll be more evergreen and people will appreciate it for longer.
Yeah. Hey, and what about like the artwork? Do you make your own artwork as well, or?
So the one that I did recently,
visuals.
The one that I made recently, the self-hosted video, that was actually artwork from Mattis Dovier. I actually discovered him on Giphy. So like you download the Giphy app and you can just like browse all the different stuff. But I found this really awesome Giphy and I was like, I really want this in the video, but it's too low resolution. And so I went down this rabbit hole of discovering his entire like work. And so I used that to cut and paste. I emailed him and I was just like, this is amazing. Can I give me your lightning invoice? I'll send you some sets to thank you. But I think he probably thinks it was a scam, so he never replied. But yeah, but all the other videos, I create my own visual.
That's another thing about that I love about your work. Like in the end, you can find pretty much everything. Like you sometimes overdo it for me. I think like I took that Ziffy from like a GIF from that guy. I took that music from that guy. Yeah. So there's a reference in the end to find whatever is being edited, because like, yes, okay, we know memes are for sharing and all that. Like, there's no like a true original thing about like a meme. It's like
That's your high time preference, Yellow. Because if you do add it, I guess they'll appreciate it. They'll also share it for you.
No man, it's like a shout out for it's just like a decent thing to do. Like just give a shout out to the original guy that made the music or whoever. Like I think it's like we have to do it as a meme. Like I'm trying to do it. Not so much, but like, yeah.
I try to do it as well. My problem is I always like save funny stuff when I see stuff, and when I like make a meme, I usually start with like a soundtrack that I like, and I start adding like the images later from like my camera roll. And a lot of times I don't know what the original source is anymore. So, but yeah, I guess we all have different ways of going about it.
Yeah, of course. If you're gonna use like a song that it's so well known, you don't have to like put in the credits, I guess. But like, if you're gonna use it like an artist or a fellow Bitcoiner and it's a collab or something like that, like that's the decent thing to do is like give a shout out.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I think I've used like RD, I've used one of your memes. I think it was a fiat machine in one of my videos and stuff as well. And so it's like I use a lot of other creative people's memes and stuff, and just like adding like a little handle in the meme, or now that like I think creating a credits at the end is probably better, so it doesn't like ruin the video with like all the little credits everywhere and stuff. It's just
it's difficult a little bit to use the meme factory memes because we have that huge strike logo everywhere.
Yellow. RD was just about to unmute. I'm sure.
Sorry.
Get him to unmute.
What do you have to say, RD?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I get a buzz when I see other people using my memes. So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, in the beginning, it was kind of when you're kind of trying to, break out. You want your memes to be recognized, but after a while, it's just they're out there in the wild, and I get a buzz when I see them these days. So yeah, thanks for using that.
Yeah, like what if you make a meme, right? And then like 10 years from now, you have a kid, and that kid is like showing you this funny meme that they saw on Instagram. And you're like, I made that meme.
If you use any of RD's meme, then you don't have to worry about crediting him, because there's always a good watermark on there somewhere.
It's all about the watermark.
Even the watermark has become like a meme now. It has become like a joke.
Yeah. It's crazy because I wonder like how far, because memes just keep building off of each other, you know? So I wonder, I feel like we're gonna get to this point where the memes are just gonna keep building and building to this creative genius that we don't even know where it's going yet. It's just like a meme almost has a mind of its own, and it just, someone pops something onto a new meme and then someone adds something else. And then just, I think eventually we're just gonna have so much creativity flowing through Bitcoin. I don't know, who knows where it all end up going.
So true. I was actually looking at the memes yesterday, like just, I don't know, you said not to prepare for this, but I was just like, I'm gonna do some research anyway and kind of like find all my favorite memes from you guys. I'm glad that Yellow's here because actually like one of my favorite videos, and this is like not really to do with Bitcoin, but it was like the Nick Carter edited Zoom call with the shitcoiners, and it was like a picture of him with like with the pub in the background drinking the beer, and that was just like it was the most funniest thing I've seen in so long. And I just want to say like thank you for creating that, because that was like the definition of like layered memes of like there's just so many funny elements, like even the logos on the side with all the shit coins and like and the slow, oh my god, it was so good. Like I was on the floor like laughing so hard.
My
like
star is rising.
it was so good. Oh my god. Amazing.
I enjoy those silly memes, like, and I have the luck or the bad luck, call it whatever you want. Like, I'll put like a decent amount of time to like an epic meme with sailor and like spaceships and very detailed and like effects and like I will go back and correct something I didn't like, and it will take me like ages. But then I will make like in 1 hour like a Cordano video, and it's gonna be one of my classics. Like everybody will love the silliest thing I put like in 1 hour, and I'm like, guys, come on, you're killing me, come on.
Yeah. What do you do after you post a meme? Tip? Tell us about that process.
You watch it like 50 times.
Oh. No, I the worst part is posting it, and then like honestly I love making it, I hate posting it, and after I post it I like actually put my phone on flight mode and I like run to the corner of my room and just like hide. Like it's just, no one talks about like the vulnerability of creating the art. Like it's just like people see you, people see like your humor, people will judge you for it and stuff, and you just don't want any of that. Like you just, I don't know, I can't handle it, so I just like run and I hide. That's my process.
Yeah, I think that's one of the few things a lot of people, it's probably something that holds back a lot of people from meming, because they might think of a meme, they might even start dabbling to create something, but then they're like, I'm not gonna post this is like way too crappy, right? But you just gotta get over that.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then, because how are you ever gonna get like any good if you don't, you got to start somewhere. And then, but it's definitely a thing.
yeah.
I think we can all admit that looking back to our old memes, like we cringe, everybody cringes, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Just
Dude,
do the first step.
yeah, not every meme
I still cringe. Honestly, Tip, when I see your videos, I'm like, dude, I gotta step up my game seriously, because she's making me look so bad right now.
Oh, thanks.
And video memeing is hard. Like making the pictures is, I mean, it's not easy, but it doesn't take as much time. And making those video memes it just takes so much more time. You have to be way more meticulous. The music has to match up with the words, or if there's a beat in the music and you want a picture to show up at the same time, like all of that is so much harder. Like it's just, the details are insane.
I guess there's like more room for hiding as well, like with video memes, whereas like with static memes, it's like the simpler the better. And if you don't do them, if the message isn't great and if how you portray it isn't great, then you're not going to get a great meme. So like to get a great meme, you have to be perfect on the simpler stuff as well. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think RD, you should talk about that, because you're like pretty genius in the static memes, dude. It's like, what I like about RD is that he's also very good at like the actuality of things. So when like news breaks,
Yeah.
RD will be there like bam, yeah, with a meme.
Yeah, it's you have to be plugged in all the time, don't you? It's just, oh no, something's going on. I've got to meme it. And for me, I can't put together very good tweets, but when there's something going on, I find it easier to make a meme than make a tweet. So that's
You
that's
mean
just
the
my
caption?
way of
You mean the caption, right?
yeah.
I suck in the
caption,
captions too. Yeah.
and it's that's always been the hardest bit for me. So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
my way of just doing something. That was how it all started for me. Really, it was just wanting to contribute, and yeah, I was like reading all these amazing tweets by people, and like Pierre Richard, and just like, how can I compete with all this? And then just like, well, maybe I can make a meme about this stuff. And that was how it started, and just carried on from there. But I definitely get memes block as well.
That's a good question, Tip. Like, why memes? Like, why did you end up using that medium of like expressing yourself? Why not articles? Because you have like an economic background too. Why not like a podcast or something? Or maybe is it like in your future plans to do those both
TikTok
too?
videos.
Yeah, how come like memes in TikTok and then Twitter? Like, how did you start it?
I think it's just like, again, like a combination of stuff. When I was younger, I loved making videos. I just remember being like 6 years old and playing with like Barbie video editing director software like that. Like that's just like what I do for fun. And I guess like I create like normal videos, I like without songs and stuff as well. But I find that with like music and like poetry, it's just a good combination. Like music is a great like motivator. It helps with like daydreaming, and daydreaming helps with thought processing, and it kind of gives you structure to work with. And then with poetry, it's kind of like I like write poetry all the time. When like when I leave Thailand and had to say goodbye to my dad, I would write him like poems every time I left. And so that was kind of like where I built that muscle to kind of like write things that rhyme. And I also find that it's kind of like the most efficient way to get across a lot of information in fewest words possible. So with poetry, you get to eliminate a lot of like filler words, but have the message still make sense. And you kind of supplement that with visuals and art to make it make sense a little bit more. So it was just kind of a combination of stuff like music, lyrics, art, and it was just the best way to get all of that across. And right now, like there's so much competition for attention that you have to be really effective and try to appeal to all the senses all the time to get people to at least give your content a shot, especially with like videos, people tend to scroll away and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of trying to create something like that would pull everything together and stuff. Yeah. I noticed that I just like.
What's the engagement like on TikTok? Because I don't think any of us are on TikTok, I think. But you're on now, you're quite.
I was on TikTok and then I got like banned, and then I got shadow banned. But it was because I was talking about Bitcoin, and so they banned me. But yeah, I'm not really on TikTok anymore. I started on TikTok actually as a way, when I was working for my previous company, as a way to find deal flow for the company. And so it was like, if the founders don't know who you are, they're not going to come to you. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start a TikTok. And it was like just videos on like fundraising and stuff. But then over time, it just like pivoted.
They're not my founders. I don't.
They're not even the LPs I invested my fund. So good. Oh my gosh.
Another question I have is like, Are you reaching out to other members, to other people in community, or are you just doing your thing? Like reading your podcast, like, are you a person that would like to reach out to people, to get in that group chat, to be silly with the guys, with the other memers, or are you doing your thing and only that, and you're trying to educate people?
I'm doing a bit of both, but I find that like when I put out a video, I get a lot of like inbound and people reaching out saying, hey, they want to work with me. And I get excited at the time, like, yes, let's do stuff together. But then when I have an idea, I just want to get down and execute on this. And then sometimes I just forget. So it just depends on what stage I'm at in creation. Like if I'm at the beginning of the creation stage, I want to be talking with people. I want to be kind of like in the expansion stage where I'm learning, I'm getting inspiration, I want to collaborate. And then when it comes to the contraction stage, like the execution, I'm very much in my own world where I'm like, I just need to get it done. Like I have these lists of things to do. And I find that when I collaborate with other people, sometimes I might not be so good at communicating and stuff, but it's just something that I have to work on because I do eventually want to create something that is much larger than what I can do myself. Whether it's more long form, whether it's something completely creative that teaches Bitcoin without talking about Bitcoin, like whether it's a film that gets you to think differently, like it would be awesome to create a film that is like the next Matrix or whatever it is that is just so like evergreen and in someone's mind and shapes how they think. Like that is awesome. But I can't do that on my own. So it's a process and I need to learn to work better with others.
It would be interesting to have like all of the memers come together because there's a lot of creativity and try to put some plot to like some movie together that could teach what Bitcoin is. It's like the end moral of the story is what Bitcoin is at the end of it. Like if we could write something together, you know.
Okay, listen, I'm telling you now, Sean, I'm not gonna be the so-called German of that project. That's not me. I'm not gonna play that role. I don't want to try to organize a bunch of memers. They're the worst people to organize.
Yeah, that is true. You get a bunch of memers together and you can't get focused on one topic. I learned that.
We're really good at generating ideas, but execution layer sucks.
We have the attention like a span of like a dog watching a squirrel, like squirrel. That's it. That's us.
So Tip,
Okay.
one thing I struggle with a lot of times is like when I'm making a meme, often I think about like, okay, who's my audience, you know, and for some reason I always tend towards like, I'll just call it noobs or people who are, you know, just completely unaware or, you know, like not aware enough. And you try to, you know, if you could just get a message across to somebody that they didn't realize or whatever. But at the same time, I often think as well, like, okay, you know, is it like, for instance, here in the Caribbean, you know, like I always wish that like all these third world countries would just get it first, right? Yeah. So how, and I'm thinking you're from Thailand. So what is it like in Thailand compared to New Zealand? And do you try to craft memes towards them as well? Or is it just like a general audience or you don't think of it at all?
I do think about like how I think about kind of like the broader audience of like, okay, what is the goal here? The goal here is to educate and also entertain and also to kind of preserve a current culture of today so that in the future they can kind of watch and understand the context of what we're going through as early Bitcoiners. And so it's kind of like all of that shapes how I create my video. It's not necessarily like, are they Thai or they Kiwi or US or whatever. I think like Bitcoiners, like there's certain ethos in Bitcoin that is relatable to everyone. And so it's kind of like making sure that those values are reflected in the videos. And that's why my videos are, you know, taking longer to post because I want to make it more evergreen and to step up my game and stuff. And I think Bitcoiners appreciate that no matter where they are in the world. So it's just kind of like making sure that my content fits with the Bitcoin ethos. But that being said, like there are differences in New Zealand and Thailand in terms of how they perceive Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is progressing. And part of the reason why I want to move back to Thailand, and we are kind of in the process of moving back to Thailand from New Zealand, is like Bitcoin's already a thing there. Like there's a Facebook group with like 11,000 people for Lightning specifically.
Wow.
And there are shops accepting Lightning. And
wow.
yeah, like we're walking at a market and like there was this like sign saying Bitcoin accepted, buy some socks and some pants here and stuff. Like it is a thing there, but it's not like not like El Salvador level. So it's just kind of like instead of trying to fight and try to convince people who aren't ready to adopt Bitcoin, why not just be amongst the Bitcoiners and just kind of help build on that? And so, yeah, I don't know where I was heading with that, but it's just mainly just like, you know, be where the Bitcoiners are, create the content for the people who will appreciate it, and then the rest will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Build it, and they will come.
Yeah, create the meme and they will laugh and they'll
Yes.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how you say that, you know, like that Bitcoin culture thing, and also this moment in time, you know, like we are still kind of like early and a little bit of like this cringe minority, you know, somewhat, where I love how Gigi also says that too, you know, like he loves it that when like all these traditional economic or economists look at Bitcoin Twitter and they see all these like weird anons and the whole culture thing, they're like, are we losing to like these guys? You know, I imagine that like in like a decade or more from now, it's just going to be so mainstream, and people are going to look back at this time and be like, whoa, this was really like this early weird like yeah, new shift or something. I'm not anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And once it gets to that stage, I feel like it would be boring, and then you'd kind of move on to the next fringe thing or whatever, like the next I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's just like our personalities where it's not cool anymore when everyone's doing it. But yeah.
So you were talking about how there's actually quite a bit of Bitcoin adoption in Thailand. I mean, nothing insane, but do you know specifically what are the reasons why a lot of people in Thailand are turning to Bitcoin, or, you know, are they also going to altcoins too, or is it just mainly Bitcoin only, or, you know, what have you seen out there?
I've seen some altcoin stuff. I've seen a lot of like Bcash push and stuff as well. But I think, yeah, shake.
Roger Ver is
shake your head.
scamming everywhere he can.
Yeah.
Sticking stickers
I'm
everywhere.
surprised. Yeah, I think it's just the stickers. I think he's just like probably like sent some stickers to people to go and hire them to go and stick them around the country. But
Yeah.
I think because it's already like quite a cash heavy economy, like we deal in baht and like physical cash all the time, that like Bitcoin's quite like normal, where you can just like, you know, you don't have to, it's such a cash heavy economy that if you draw up a Lightning invoice, they're not going to be like, oh, how am I going to do this with my tax accountant and stuff. Like people don't really have that mindset. Whereas here in New Zealand, everyone's very much like by the books. But yeah, it's cash heavy. Like lots of people are already like doing a lot of peer-to-peer transactions. So this is normal. And even like the fintech stuff in Thailand is quite advanced, like a prompt pay, like a tap and go QR code is already everywhere. So like in terms of the user experience and the user interface, like to use Lightning isn't so different from their day-to-day anyway. And also Thailand's like very progressive in terms of giving people choice. So they just recently made marijuana legal. And so there's just like a boom in business there where it's like, you know, they're just giving people more choice, which is, I think, heading towards the right direction. And hopefully when it comes to like using the people's currency, they give people the choice to use Bitcoin and not make it like illegal in terms of peer-to-peer transactions and stuff. But I think they're heading the right direction in terms of making those choices.
Do you foresee a future where people get up, like right now you're getting up, you're leaving your country and going to a different country? Well, I guess you went back to the country that you're originally from, but do you foresee a future where people will just move from one country to another based on if they believe that country will treat them best? Like almost like, okay, well, I'm just going to get up and vote with my feet. If the country I'm in doesn't treat me well, I'll go to another country, kind of like the sovereign individual type of thing. Like, you think that's
back and on that question, is you're moving a part of like, I don't know if it's true what we see in the news about New Zealand, like they had a few laws that are anti-privacy. They're a little bit getting more closed as a society. And I don't know how, is it like one of those reasons that why you as a Bitcoiner loving freedom and everything, you're living in New Zealand again?
Yeah,
Or
I
what?
mean, like, it's all part of that reason. Like, Sean, to your point, Bitcoin is making it easier for us to pick up our assets and leave. Like, we don't have to, you know, do a bunch of stuff. It's just so easy to move around the world. And I created that hyper Bitcoinization video where I envisage government to be just more utility service providers. They don't have, like, you know, the power to kind of control the citizens, but be more like competing with each other to attract citizens to their country and offering great services, because citizens are the ones with the power. We're the ones holding the Bitcoin. We're the ones completely in control of our own sovereign wealth. And so that's the future that I'm envisaging for Bitcoin. And we're doing that right now by getting up and leaving, because we're not tied down to anything. And I think compared to Thailand, I think New Zealand is maybe heading towards a direction that I'm not comfortable with. And that's why we're leaving. But yeah, I don't know.
So
What about?
So what we're
you
seeing
guys?
about New Zealand is unfortunately true. They are becoming like a more closed as society.
Yeah, especially after COVID. I mean, like the
Yeah.
first thing they did was kind of like close borders, which at the time, like it made sense, but then it just kept going. And it's just like, well, now you're just hurting small businesses, you're hurting tourism, you're hurting what New Zealand is. And I just feel bad for people who just don't have a say and they just have to just take it. Yeah, it sucks. Like the mood is just so different. Like I actually went to El Salvador after the Bitcoin conference Miami, and the mood in El Salvador was just so like upbeat compared to like New Zealand or Australia, even the US. Like it was just such a different vibe. Like you just have to go see it for yourself, really.
That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing
yeah.
the Halving Party in El Salvador.
Oh, really? When's that? I mean, I guess the halving.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the block height, Sean?
840,000. But yeah, we're planning it. The meme factory is planning it. I am the project manager, so Yellow doesn't have to be. But it's happening, so it's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Can I get an invite in case
You are invited.
get there?
Of course you're invited.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't meet up with you in Miami this past year, and I was down there. So we're gonna have to meet up. You're gonna have to meet up all the memers. We're gonna have to have like a meme party in the middle of the Halving Party.
Amazing.
We'll have like make your best meme competition in like a
dress up as your best meme. Wear your best meme.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we could have something crazy out there. I don't know.
Nice. Have you guys actually all met in person before, or never met in person?
RD came and visited me last year in Spain, and but I haven't met Yellow or Marcus yet.
I haven't met nobody actually. I'm meeting RD now in September, where he's coming here in a Greek island. We're gonna go and relax a little bit and meme from the beach, I guess. like two autistics that we are.
Yeah, we have an unofficial catamaran party planned, but it was supposed to happen around 100K and it hasn't happened yet. So it's something to look out for. I haven't met anybody from the meme crew either. I know Chairforce and Greg have met, and so a couple of us have met. Sean has met most of the meme crew. I think he's been around the most. Yeah. I was supposed to meet Greg during because I was going to Belize a couple of days before the Miami conference. So I was in Miami as in transit, and Greg was supposed to meet me there at the airport, but he rug pulled me. So I haven't met anybody yet.
Typical Greg.
Yeah, fuck you, Greg.
All right, well, Tip, do you have any questions for us at all? I mean, we got.
Yes, I do actually. I have some questions, and thank you for letting me ask you some questions as well. So I've always been fascinated with like great content, and you guys are obviously like the top of the top when it comes to like Bitcoin memeing. So in your eyes, like what is the difference between a good meme and like a great meme?
Yellow?
Go on, Yellow.
Define grain, like are we talking about numbers or are we talking about ethics?
Define it. The interesting thing is, can you define it yourself? Like, because it differs for everyone, and I'd love to know what you think is a great meme.
Yeah, so I think of great memes when I'm expressing emotions that many people know about, and I have like hidden messages inside. I have a bunch of memes like that, but like they don't do good like in numbers. Like it has to do with Bitcoin, it has to do with hodling, it has to do with sacrifice, it has to do with our way of life and how we sacrifice many aspects of our so-called normie life, especially when we're living in a fiat system still, and like our family and friends are living their lives. So have personal memes like that I'm trying to express that kind of feeling, but those are more personal to me, and I love those more. But they don't do that much. Like very few people will understand them, like what I mean by them, and they're mostly bittersweet. So I love those.
That's awesome. I bet like those memes don't do well in today's like mainstream society, but it will be evergreen, and like 10 years from now, it might like have a surge in popularity of like, wow, that was created in 2022. Like, so I think that's really awesome.
It's almost like Bitcoin itself, right? Like when Satoshi made Bitcoin, it wasn't getting it, like it's still not getting a ton of popularity. It's getting a lot more than it was, but like, he made something really awesome and then let it loose, and then that like as people understand what it is, then they gravitate towards it and they like it a lot.
Yeah, you can look at numbers, but the numbers will do well if the meme is well. And when is a meme good, or when is it really good? I guess when people can relate to it, or it triggers something in them, right? I guess the best memes are the ones that people grab and modify it and run with it themselves. They'll put like their own interpretation onto the meme or something. I don't know, like I guess one of the best memes that came out of the meme factory must have been laser eyes. I mean, the minute that took off, you realize, okay, this was a really great meme, and like it just outgrows itself and it becomes like its own thing, and it just evolves without, it's not just like, okay, I made a meme and it's there and it's yours. No, it becomes everybody's meme. I think for me that would be a great meme, and I guess it's also a great meme if it leaves like Bitcoin Twitter, if it's able to go out. And I think it was like, shout out to Coin Icarus, because in the early episodes of Simply Bitcoin, he used to do the meme review. And one of his criteria was always like, yeah, it's a good meme, but a normie wouldn't be able to understand it, because we tend to use a lot of like inside jokes or inside information, which is good too, because I also hear a lot of people say that, hey, it's through the memes that I learn a lot of stuff, like, okay, I see a meme, I don't get it, so I want to learn what does this mean, so they start digging deeper and learn that way about Bitcoin. But at the same time, if it's like too difficult and like normies don't get it, it doesn't resonate with them, it doesn't trigger anything, then your message kind of gets lost to them. So then it's maybe not as great of a meme. So I always like that criteria as well.
If you can get across an important or complex message in a really tight, compact meme, I think that makes a really good meme. It's really hard to do, but if you can nail it, then that makes the best meme, I think.
I think I heard like a metaphor where it's like great memes age like fine wine because it goes through like a superior distillation process. And it's just like, that's so true.
I was thinking that before you said it, actually. I was thinking it earlier when you were talking. Yeah.
Same brainwave.
You guys should make a meme about that.
He already has a meme like that, the brainwave.
Do you think normies will get it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have any more questions for us?
Big Sean, you didn't answer my question.
Oh, I didn't answer your question. It's true.
No.
Everything is basketball.
Yeah, everything's
Better answer.
What makes a great meme for me is if yellow can laugh. Then I know it's a great meme.
Here's your filter.
Yes.
Nice.
It's also when you put it out there, it's like Twitter is kind of like the ultimate decider as well, right? I mean, you might think it's a great meme. And first of all, a lot of like my personal best memes got like no likes, but personally, I love them the most. I don't care what other people like, but sometimes you make something and then you're like, oh, this is a shitty meme, or it gets like a lot of tweets and retweets. You're like, oh, apparently this was something that Twitter likes, you know? So it's, I don't know. I guess it just depends.
I've definitely made some memes that get a bunch of likes. I'm like, okay, that was all right. But then I've made other memes, like there's, some memes that maybe my favorite memes that I've made, and they don't get that many likes, but I'm like, screw it. I like that. I really like that meme a lot. It resonates to me, and I'm the one who made it, and I like that. So
he hits RT.
What'd you say? I
retweeted
it.
What I love about the memes too is that when I watch some of like whether it's RDs or Yellows or Greg or Cheerforce memes, sometimes you go back because I bookmark like a lot of my favorite memes, and they'll also remind you of like this certain era, like 2019 and 2020 had like, for me personally, were kind of like exciting, right? Because it was like, okay, I'm stacking as hard as I can because this thing is going to go up to 100K and it's going to change my life. You have like all this hope for the future, and then when it really happens, it's going up there, like the mood completely changes, so like the memes also bring you back to like the mood and your emotions of that time.
You just said something that's so true, that like you go back to some memes that were very popular because you made it very quickly. It was like a current news thing, I don't know, about Elon or something. You got it out there, it did huge numbers because everybody was talking about the Elon thing, right? And that thing. And so the meme did great numbers, right? But like you rewatch it after like 1 year and you're like, that guy changed his mind like 10 hours, 10 times after that. Like, who cares?
Yeah, that's why RD throwing Elon off from the Lion King. That's what that one's.
It was a kick. It was kicking him off.
Kicking him off. That meme has a lot of modifications on it too, RD, where like the guy holding Simba and then Simba was holding somebody else. And then, like really.
Every time it got modified, I did another version of it.
With a kick, right? I just had another thought. Sorry, I'll come back to it. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No, but yeah, what you were saying, Marcus, there's a lot of memes. Like sometimes someone will just randomly like a meme of yours or a meme of one of these guys in the past, and that you're tagged in, and then you look at it and you're like, oh wow, I forgot about how I was feeling in, the feelings that I had in January of 2020, or something like that you just totally forget about, and it brings you. It's like a song, you can hear a song and it can bring up memories of a certain person or a certain place you were in life. And a meme can do the same thing. It just brings back those memories of where you were.
True. Another question I have a tip for you is like, how do you deal with like the copyright stuff? Like, because it has to do with memes. So it is video, it has music and stuff. Like, how do you deal with that?
I buy the music. So yeah, with my more recent ones where I'm actually like singing and rapping on top of that music, I buy the rights to stream and all that outright. So that's the
Oh
most
wow.
expensive part of making it. Yeah. And people like keep saying like, you know, put it on Spotify and stuff, but it's just like there's just so much legal stuff that I'm just like, I don't know where this, but I don't want to like tie down the content to a specific platform just yet. I'm just waiting for like a Bitcoin, like, you know, type platform that can host this. So I'm not tied legally to any of these other platforms. But yeah, like to be honest, I'm just kind of like too lazy to kind of like even go down that legal rabbit hole. But I make sure that I buy the copyrights for the music. The clips, I know I've had some problems like with Bitcoin Magazine and stuff. They say they're very, you know, like cautious about posting any Disney type clips, and some of my videos have those clips in. So I try not to use those types of clips anymore. But yeah, if I'm using someone's content like throughout the whole thing, like first of all, I'm not monetizing it. It's more like claiming that it's education, but I also reach out to them and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm using your thing in this 2-minute video. I'd love to compensate you. I'll send you some sets and stuff. Sometimes people reply, sometimes they don't. But yeah, just trying to figure all that out. But at the end of the day, it's like, I am not getting paid to do this. It's educational. So hopefully if someone's going to be a dick about it, then
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Just make a tip NZ unconscious account. Upload your videos from there.
What was that? What account was that?
Like I made an account called Malaka's account, and I upload all the videos there.
Oh, yeah, that was what that was.
Yeah, and I RT the video because my last account was like got 6 DMCA strikes, and it closed my last account on Twitter. So
So he lost everything. So he didn't want to go through that again. So he created like this burner account. So whenever he creates a meme, he posts it from that burner account basically. And then if that gets nuked,
I RT the video only, and then I do the caption from the new account, and like I think everybody now is doing that. So that's a good like.
I did the same thing. Right?
That's a good hack.
Yeah, I created an alt account, and then I don't worry about the videos that I put up because I just tweet it from that alt account that no one follows, and then I embed that link into my into like, instead of like being like a full-on retweet, it's like you hold on it, and then you can like tweet the video from your other account, and then that way if you get
knows it's what Dick Witherband does with all our videos. Like the guy Dick Witherband, what's his name?
Oh yeah,
He RTs all of our videos.
Yes.
Shout out to Dick.
Yeah. But that way, if there's any discrepancies, then they don't give you a DMCA strike and shut down your account. It'll go back to your alt account that you've created.
Do you find that you get the strikes from the footage or from the music, most likely?
Music. Mostly are from the music, yeah.
But you got yours from a video, Yellow.
Yeah, about the music though.
Yeah. But
because it had the word kill or something, and those videos don't upload now. Like if it has like offensive wording inside, they won't like let you upload, and your account gets locked, and then you have to appeal it right away or like admit, okay, yeah, I was wrong. But if you admitted you were wrong, you get your account back right away, but like you have a strike in your record. So that sucks again. So you have to wait like 1 or 2 days to appeal it and say something like, your algo did something wrong, like I didn't do anything wrong, so check it out. But yeah, dealing with Twitter generally is like a pain.
It sucks, right? I mean, like you said, Tip, it's a platform where we all for me, it always feels that like Twitter is one of like the last town squares where anybody, you know, where everybody's there, and also like your local crazy guy that will yell "fuck you" at anything, and that's okay because that's what real life is too. You know, you can't just like block people. But then at the same time, Twitter is this platform where where you can just get like censored and cut off, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But what is this? Maybe Yellow. Sorry for the tangent, but I saw the is it Keys? Some new peer-to-peer app has just been launched. I saw Adam Back tweeting about it.
Oh yeah,
Like
Kit.io. It's like a P2P video, sound, messages, files, application. Basically, it's like the Zoom call we have here, but there's no like a centralized server. And basically the video is like streamed, and the sound and everything is streamed like P2P, like BitTorrent.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, man, because like you drop like 1 gigabyte video like right now in the group chat, and like you can see it right away. It's crazy. No token, Lightning Network integration in the next update.
Wow.
And it's gonna have Lightning Network too, like a wallet, non-custodial, and what else? Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I kind of like it.
It'd be good if we could create some kind of Twitter platform like that. But then again, there's also still that whole network effect, right? Because I remember the whole BitcoinHackers.org thing, where everybody's like, okay, we had enough for Twitter, we're moving off of here, and we're going to go do Bitcoin hackers. But it's only like this small subsection of Bitcoin Twitter going there, and then you just miss like the whole network effects of Twitter.
And
it's really hard to move away from it.
The quality guys on the webcam, it's crazy. Like, because it doesn't go like in a server or something, and it gets processed and everything. Like the video goes straight to Son, and Son sends straight to me and to everybody. Like we do a circle of peers, and like the quality of the video is way better. You're gonna see it, like, and they're gonna implement also like because like all the data, all the bunches of the buffer, like you basically have it. You're gonna have like in the next update, Paolo was saying like you're basically gonna able to record like even 4K and upload it afterwards, like in YouTube or whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, I saw Lynn Alden tweeting about that too.
Yeah.
Hey, Tip, I really appreciate this talk, and I learned a lot more, by the way, that you're from Thailand and stuff, and you know, the whole backstory. That was super interesting. But also that you're like spending your own sats to make your memes. Where can people like find your content, and where can they tip you if they can tip you at all? And what can we expect next from you in the coming period of time?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for like reaching out, and like it's awesome to finally chat to you guys in person. Like I'm a fan, so it was very nerve-wracking to come on the show and have all the heavy hitters here and stuff. But yeah, I mean, thanks so much for the support. You can find my content on Twitter, and you can donate, I guess, on my Twitter profile. There's like a link tree, and it leads you to like a CoinOS website and stuff. Always appreciate that. I had like a really awesome person who donated 3 sats 3 times a day for the past couple of months now, and it was just so cool to see it come in like every day. It's like 3 sats. It was like, this is amazing. Wow. So yeah, it's really just appreciate that. And I mean, I do it for myself anyway, like creating these videos, so I'm happy just doing it for myself as well. And yeah, what's next? I think I'm trying to like focus more on kind of the positive stuff that's happening in Bitcoin, and actually giving more attention to the great projects that's currently happening. So right now I'm just researching on really cool stuff that can happen in Bitcoin that people just don't know enough about, so that people become more aware, as opposed to kind of focusing on the shit that's already happening in the world. Like, I think we've got enough energy doing that. I think we need to redirect the energy towards the positive stuff on Bitcoin. And yeah, I guess most of my next videos will be more positive. But yeah,
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well,
We
thanks.
really look forward to it, and thank you for everything that you do, because we see all the feedback you get, and we see the range you get, and it's really important. And I think it's highly underestimated. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry, I suck at words as well. I should meme it, but it's I'm really grateful for what you do and how you pull people in, and you're attracting a lot of new people and women as well, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, much appreciation for you.
awesome. Thank you.
I will say I'm really happy that I'm. It's gonna sound like a little bit cocky, like my star is rising, but I'm doing, dude. I'm memeing from 2017, so I have to say it. So I'm really happy that I'm not alone anymore doing this silly stuff, and I love that now we have meme gangs, and we have the meme darts and trivia elites and everybody else, like, and we have you that is like quality wise, you're up there, Tip. We are also big fans, and keep on doing what you're doing, because like you're also like pushing us again. Like we are a little bit bored now, we're a little bit slow with the bear market, but we see what you like, a new person in this in the space, like creating, and like all that passion like makes us also better.
Yeah, it's really true, Yellow. Just like the crypto
Amen.
couple too, like it's like you just recognize it when
Yeah,
it's
the
good.
crypto
It
couple
just
too,
shows up
man,
out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
everybody's talking about it. So that's really cool.
They're also awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Tip, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. I know, online, but it's been great to get to talk to you and understand a little bit more about why you meme and how you understand about Bitcoin. So it's been a pleasure for us to get to know you. We're excited and happy that you came on the show, and just wanted to remind everyone else out there that this Thursday we have Gary Leland, the host of BitBlock Boom. He'll be on the Meme Factory podcast live at 7:30 p.m. And remember, what you see here, what you hear here, when you leave here, don't just let it stay here. Please share and like and subscribe. As for Bitcoiner's Guide, episode 23, from our guest Tip_NZ, RDBTC, Yellow, ICO Offender 2, or ICO Offender II, Plan Marcus and Big Sean. We're over and out. Peace.